Millionaire woman marries poor cook for TV. What happens behind the scenes isn't scripted. Catherine Walsh had built her reputation on calculated risks that always paid off. At 32, she commanded a tech consulting empire worth $40 million from her glass-walled offices in downtown Seattle. Her success story was the kind that business magazines loved. Orphaned at 16, she had worked her way through MIT, launched 3 startups, and emerged as one of the youngest female CEOs in the Pacific Northwest. But Catherine's carefully constructed public image had begun to feel like a prison. Every interview followed the same script. Every business decision was scrutinized for its impact on her brand. And every romantic relationship became fodder for speculation about her personal life. When her publicist suggested participating in Profungo, a revolutionary new reality show, Catherine saw an opportunity to control her narrative in an entirely different way. Cross Class promised to be television's most ambitious social experiment. The show would pair wealthy individuals with working-class partners in arranged marriages, documenting their attempts to bridge economic and cultural divides over 90 days. The premise was provocative enough to guarantee massive ratings, while the social commentary angle provided intellectual legitimacy that appealed to Catherine's desire to be taken seriously. The show's creator, Miranda Hayes, had built her career producing reality television that pretended to examine deeper social issues while delivering the relationship drama that audiences craved. She pitched Cross Class as part sociology experiment, part romantic comedy, and part commentary on American inequality. Network executives saw dollar signs in the controversial concept, particularly with the right casting choices. Catherine represented the perfect wealthy participant, photogenic, articulate, and successful enough to embody the American dream while young enough to seem relatable to key demographics. Her tragic backstory provided emotional depth, while her business achievements offered aspirational appeal. Most importantly, her lack of current romantic attachments meant the show could focus entirely on her developing relationship with whichever working-class man the producers selected. The casting process for Catherine's partner involved hundreds of applicants from across the country. Producers were looking for someone who could provide authentic working-class perspective while possessing enough charisma to carry compelling television. They needed a man who would challenge Catherine intellectually without intimidating her. Someone whose background would create natural conflict while still offering potential for genuine connection. Daniel Rivera emerged from the final round of auditions as the obvious choice. A 29-year-old line cook from a family restaurant in East Los Angeles, Daniel possessed the kind of authentic charm that couldn't be manufactured. His application video, filmed in the kitchen where he worked 14-hour shifts, showcased not just his culinary skills, but his natural ability to tell stories that made even mundane experiences seem compelling. Daniel's background provided the perfect contrast to Catherine's privileged circumstances. The son of Mexican immigrants, he had grown up in a neighborhood where success was measured differently than in corporate boardrooms. His father had worked construction until a back injury forced early retirement, while his mother cleaned office buildings at night to support the family. Daniel's decision to pursue cooking rather than college had disappointed his parents, but his dedication to his craft and his community had earned him respect in ways that transcended economic status. The producers recognized that Daniel's appeal went beyond his photogenic appearance and compelling personal story. Unlike many reality show participants who seemed desperate for fame, Daniel appeared genuinely ambivalent about the television opportunity. He had applied partly on a dare from co-workers and partly out of curiosity about whether people from such different backgrounds could truly connect. His skepticism about the show's premise made him seem more authentic than candidates who were obviously seeking celebrity. The initial meeting between Catherine and Daniel was orchestrated with the precision of a military operation. Cameras captured their first encounter at a neutral location, a coffee shop in Pioneer. Square chosen for its combination of urban sophistication and accessible atmosphere. Both participants had been briefed on basic logistics, but kept ignorant of crucial details about each other's backgrounds to ensure genuine reactions. Catherine arrived first, positioned at a corner table that provided optimal camera angles while maintaining the illusion of spontaneous meeting. She wore carefully selected casual attire, designer jeans, and a cashmere sweater that suggested approachability while still indicating her economic status. Her preparation had included coaching sessions with the shows, consulting psychologists about managing expectations and remaining open to unexpected connections. Daniel's entrance was timed to maximize dramatic impact. He wore his best shirt and jacket, clothing that looked expensive to cameras, but had actually been purchased at a discount store the previous weekend. His nervous energy was completely genuine, unlike Catherine, who participated in media appearances regularly. Daniel had never been filmed for anything more significant than a local news segment about community gardens. The conversation that followed revealed why producers had been confident in their casting choices. Catherine and Daniel discovered immediate intellectual compatibility that transcended their economic differences. Daniel's curiosity about Catherine's business ventures led to discussions about entrepreneurship, innovation, and the challenges of building something meaningful in competitive industries. Catherine found herself genuinely interested in Daniel's perspective on food culture, community building, and the intersection of tradition and creativity in professional kitchens. But the cameras also captured moments of genuine tension that highlighted their vastly different lived experiences. When Catherine casually mentioned her graduate school debt as an example of financial struggle, Daniel's expression revealed the absurdity of comparing student loans for optional education to his family's daily decisions between rent payments and medical bills. When Daniel described his pride in contributing to his neighborhood's economic stability, Catherine struggled to understand why someone would voluntarily limit their geographic and professional mobility. These moments of disconnect provided the dramatic material that would make compelling television, but they also revealed the authentic challenges that people from different socioeconomic backgrounds face when attempting to build relationships. The show's format required Catherine and Daniel to navigate these differences while living together, sharing financial responsibilities, and ultimately deciding whether to remain married after the experimental period ended. The wedding ceremony was planned as a media spectacle designed to launch the show with maximum publicity impact. The venue was a boutique hotel in downtown Seattle, chosen for its combination of elegance and intimacy. The guest list included Catherine's business associates and social circle, alongside Daniel's family and friends from Los Angeles, creating visual contrast that would reinforce the show's central premise. Catherine's preparation for the wedding involved teams of stylists, photographers, and producers working to create an image that balanced bridal tradition with contemporary sophistication. Her dress was custom designed by a Seattle-based artist, ensuring that her appearance would generate fashion coverage while supporting local creative industries. Every detail was calculated to project an image of someone taking the experiment seriously while maintaining her established personal brand. Daniel's experience was markedly different. His family's arrival in Seattle represented the first time most of them had traveled outside California, and their wonder at the city's affluence was captured extensively by roving camera crews. His preparation was more modest but equally meaningful. His mother had altered his father's wedding suit from 30 years earlier, while his sister helped him write vows that honored both his heritage and his hopes for the future. The ceremony itself provided television gold. The contrast between Catherine's polished social circle and Daniel's warm, demonstrative family created natural dramatic tension without requiring producer manipulation. Catherine's friends struggled to make conversation with Daniel's relatives, while Daniel's family members were clearly overwhelmed by the opulence surrounding them. But cameras also captured moments of genuine emotion that transcended the artificial. Circumstances. When Daniel's grandmother blessed their union in Spanish, Catherine was visibly moved despite understanding only fragments of the words. When Catherine's mentor from MIT offered a toast about taking chances on unexpected partnerships, Daniel recognized the sincerity behind the corporate language. The reception revealed both the possibilities and limitations of the show's premise. Guests from both sides made genuine efforts to connect across cultural and economic divides, leading to conversations that challenged assumptions on both sides. Catherine's business associates discovered that Daniel's insights about customer service and community building had applications in their corporate environments, while Daniel's family members gained new perspectives on entrepreneurship and innovation. However, the artificial nature of their circumstances was impossible to ignore. The lavish reception, paid for by the network, represented more than Daniel's family earned in multiple years. The photographer documenting every moment was a constant reminder that their most intimate experiences were being commodified for entertainment. The contractual obligations that bound Catherine and Daniel together created a strange inversion of traditional marriage vows. Instead of promising to stay together for better or worse, they had committed to remaining married for exactly 90 days regardless of their feelings. As the reception wound down and production crews prepared for the next phase of filming, Catherine and Daniel faced the challenge of transitioning from public spectacle to private relationship. They had performed their roles as bride and groom convincingly, but now they had to discover whether any authentic connection existed beneath the manufactured circumstances. The apartment selected for their cohabitation was a carefully chosen compromise between their vastly different living standards. Located in Capitol Hill, it was upscale enough to accommodate Catherine's expectations while remaining affordable, enough to seem realistic for Daniel's budget. The furnishing and decoration had been handled by production designers who created an environment that looked authentically lived in while providing optimal conditions for filming. Moving into shared space revealed immediate practical challenges that highlighted their different relationships with money and material possessions. Catherine's belongings filled multiple rooms, professional wardrobes, electronic devices, exercise equipment, and books that represented both her intellectual interests and her need to maintain her business image. Daniel arrived with 2 suitcases and a box of cooking equipment, possessions that reflected a life focused on experiences rather than accumulation. The kitchen became an unexpected source of both conflict and connection. Daniel's professional expertise transformed the space into something functional and welcoming, while Catherine's attempts to help revealed how completely she had outsourced domestic responsibilities throughout her adult life. Her embarrassment at her practical limitations was genuine, creating moments of vulnerability that cameras captured, but that also began to shift the dynamic between them. As their first week of married life unfolded, Catherine and Daniel discovered that their greatest challenge wasn't the economic disparity between them, but the constant presence of cameras documenting their every interaction. The artificial nature of their relationship made genuine intimacy nearly impossible, while the pressure to provide compelling television content influenced even their most private conversations. But something unexpected was beginning to develop between them, a mutual respect that transcended the show's manufactured premise and hinted at possibilities that neither the producers nor the participants themselves had anticipated.
Thank you for watching this story unfold with us here on M&A The Story Unfolds. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new tale. We'd love to know where you're watching from. Leave a comment below and tell us what part of the world you're joining us from. Your support means everything. See you in the next story.